My chapter really deals with the change that large organizations are facing in regard to the rapidly changing dynamics as it relates to customer needs and expectations and competitive needs, and being able to address those, leapfrog those, and figure out how to skate ahead of the puck in driving change. Really, no matter what industry you're dealing with, everybody fundamentally is dealing with solving for where the customer is going. And it doesn't really matter whether that's a B2C customer or a B2B customer. Customer needs are changing, and understanding where they're going and how to solve for that is a common challenge. And on the other hand, everybody is facing increased competition. And so understanding where you're going and understanding how you're going to be able to beat the other offerings out there remain consistent no matter where you are in the industry stage. Most of the CEOs we talk to, they're most worried about the pace of change, the pace of evolving customer needs, how customers are getting information, how they're choosing to engage in services, the move from physical to digital. They're worried about where competition is coming from and how they think about where they show up in the customers' lives tomorrow, not just today. So if you think about dealing with emerging trends and you think about that being really dealing with this real digital first mentality, understanding where and how customers want to consume information and where they're going to go to get that, and making sure at the right place at the right time with the right sorts of information and serving that up in a way that the customer wants is absolutely critical. Whether that is connecting with the B2B customer in the right kind of way, or whether that is building, serving, or creating content for the B2C customer, it's really important that you think about where and how you want to show up in your customer's day-to-day life or journey, and make sure that you are deploying yourself in that way and allowing that shift of digital to physical if needed, back to digital, and not forcing and implying that there is only one way to do business with the company. One of the strategies that we're seeing a lot of companies look to deploy is monetizing or commercializing their assets in different ways. And sometimes that's really easy and transparent to the customer. So thinking about how to, for instance, use your data, use your platform if you're a retailer to consolidate deliveries, and to be able to use that as a sort of service platform, really easy, actually valuable for the customer, and a way of creating revenue. But as we do that, it's really important that you think about the implications of that on your core customer experience. Where it becomes stickier and you need to be more thoughtful is where that revenue generation starts to impact or potentially impact the customer experience. So if you take the rise of retail media businesses, everybody's looking at building retail media businesses now, and that provides the capacity for a lot of very high margin business. But it's really important as you do that to make sure that you are balancing the customer experience and what the customer is trying to do with the ability to monetize that customer journey. If you're bombarded with 15 ads every time you try and look for a box of oatmeal, or you look for, an orange juice, you can see how it starts to slow down the customer journey and interrupt the core mission for the customer. And so balancing revenue generation, growth, and the ability to drive incremental money on the one hand with the core customer need and making sure that you stay true to the needs of the customer is really important as you balance these dynamics moving forward. The deployment of technology is critical as we think about strategic business imperatives moving forward. Of course, there is the deployment of technology, and whether that's platforms or capabilities, in order to be able to increase operating leverage and automate processes to make them more efficient. You can also, in the case of customer service, get that operating leverage, but also create better customer outcomes by deploying things like chatbots or deep AI to be able to take a look back and predict what a customer wants, or be able to provide even telephone customer services backed up with technology which moves the customer down the pipe so they don't have to talk about the order that they've placed they want to talk about, or tell you what's wrong, because you can pick that up. On the other hand, the holy grail for everybody is to create a unique, personalized one-on-one relationship with their customer. And there are so many tools, techniques, and capabilities now which are tech-driven, which are allowing customers to be able to do that. So whether it's creating operating leverage or creating better customer relationships and personalization, technology is core to all of those. Driving change in organizations is hard, particularly when we're asking organizations and humans to do something today or tomorrow that they haven't done in the past. And so recognizing whether you have the right processes, the right platforms, the right incentive schemes, the right people, the right ways of engaging in order to be able to affect that change is really the biggest dynamic that we talk about with our customers on a day-to-day basis. What we have found working them through taking organizations which often have been very hierarchical and making them operate much more horizontally as we start to solve problems on behalf of customers. The conversations which we have with clients now is to help set the foundation, to help support, counsel, and create the space to be able to think through the pros and cons of undertaking different sorts of strategies, and frankly, provide the background support, particularly for the CEO and for the C-suite, around the fact that when we're dealing with change, when we're moving organizations forward, when we're taking big pivots, by definition, at times you're going to fail. And so it's okay to fail as long as you understand why something didn't work and you pick up and you learn and you move forward. When you're dealing with organizations that are at these intense moments of change, helping set the vision, helping management understand where to go and thinking that through, but also providing the conditions and support so they're not afraid to fail is critically important.